Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Rick. The video today from She Said, baby mama with 11 kids and 8 baby daddies prove why anti-baby mama culture is on the rise. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
Can't make this up. This lady got 11 kids, 8 baby daddy. Did you hear what I just said? 11 kids, 8 baby daddy. Do I need to sing 11 kids? Not 11, but 11. 11 kids.
Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed. Last year, I released a video about this specific chick. 11 kids by 8 different baby daddies. And what I'm not going to do is talk about the very obvious fact that those children are a victim of a mother who put them at a disadvantage in life. We're not going to do that. We're not going to go into that conversation. What we are going to talk about is, I believe, the conversation surrounding this specific situation is changing. So when she first released the video, she thought her situation was funny. In fact, she did a whole dance of her dancing in front of the camera and actually showed all of her kids one by one and was really facetious with the way
disgusting
she presented her whole situation. And when asked questions from viewers about why she would do this to herself, even worse, her children, she would respond jokingly like this.
Why have one baby daddy? You can have 5. Why have 5 when you can have 9? I'll give away a baby daddy. You can have mine.
This single mother with 11 children by 8 baby daddies approached this situation like a lot of chicks do online when they talk about this situation. She thought it was funny. She thought it was a joke that her children don't have consistent present fathers in their home. Not only her, a lot of the comments would congratulate her. Like this commenter who says, "I love you, OMG."
Like, good coochie leader. Like, if you had actually good coochie, the men that go in there would not want to leave and they would continue want to go in there. But if there's 8 different men that went in there and none of them stuck around, I don't think that coochie was as great as you think it is.
And somebody else here who added, "Why stop there? Live your life. Matter of fact, sign me up." So we've got a guy here who's ready to be baby daddy number 9. But there were some people who were like, "Why would you do this?" And she finally decided to respond.
One thing I'm sick of having to explain is why I have 8 baby daddies. Okay, so I'm explaining this one time for y'all, so it won't be any more questions. Okay, let me explain this. If you have 1 and you take away 1, you have 0. But if you have 8 and you take away 3, you still have 5.
So as you guys can tell, she's still...
What? But they're not husbands. They're just baby dad. Are you talking about child support? Is she saying that in the terms of child support?
lightly joking around about this situation. But here's what I think. I believe if she released the exact same video now, a lot of people would call her out for celebrating baby mama culture. And it's not just people like myself or people who you may even think would call this chick out. A lot of single mothers are speaking out and saying, listen, been there, done it once, and I'm deciding not to do it 8 more times.
I don't care what any baby mama say. Having to raise your kids by yourself is not a flex. And this is coming from a single mother. Listen to your sister. Don't let any baby mama deceive you into believing that being a single mother is more convenient than being a wife. You hear me? When I was pregnant with my daughter, I went through the whole pregnancy by myself. Ain't nobody going me to no appointments, no baby shower, no gender reveal. When my water broke, I got us to the hospital and from the hospital. And I can go on and on about my baby daddy. F my baby dad. F my baby dad. But I slept with him. So what kind of woman did that make me?
You never hear a woman say that. I personally have never heard a single mother drink coffee to this extent. Which is why I believe chicks like this woman are doing the work of God. Let's keep listening.
Okay? You way too beautiful, way too smart, way too intelligent to be going through something like that. So live your soft girl life. Ain't nothing wrong with saying you too good to be a baby mama. You right. Because us strong black women not strong because we choose to be. We strong because we have to be.
And as we see, it's not only black women. The woman who we're talking about right now is white. But I really want to focus on something that she said. She said, we live in a culture where people will praise somebody for being a single mother more than they will a wife. I just released a video with the title, TikTok Hates Happily Married Wives. You may think that's an extreme title, but go ask one of these wives what happens when they post something where they're either cooking for their husband, doing some type of housework, anything that looks like wife activity, right? Something that would make a husband really appreciate his wife. They face backlash from the chicks on TikTok who don't drink coffee. They do. They don't like to see it.
I saw a video of a woman saying that single mothers are deprived of a certain type of mothering experience. And as a single mom, this is something that I think about every single day because I have so many fears wrapped around this concept. I've been on my own with my daughter for the last 5 years, and it took that entire 5 years for me to figure out that I could actually keep the ship above water on my own if I give up my softness. Being able to rest in your feminine as a mother is a privilege. The amount of problem solving, logic, reason, responsibility that I have on a daily basis doesn't allow me a privilege of sitting in my softness. It doesn't allow me the privilege of being in my feminine energy as a mom. I have to lean into my masculinity more. I've learned how to not be hypermasculine, but I've had to lean into my masculinity more in order to keep my ship going. Correct. And then I start thinking about the possibility of one day getting a husband and having more children and what my daughter is going to feel when she watches me raise other kids in my softness, because I'm going to have a partner that I get to lean on, so I don't have to live in my masculinity and I don't have to be hard on them in the same ways or lean on them in the same ways that I've had to lean on her, because it's just us two. And one of my biggest fears is that my daughter is going to resent me if I have more kids or a husband and give them a love that she didn't get to have because I had to be on my own with her. So yeah, check on your single mom friends because she's hurting. We know. Is absolutely struggling. And even if she doesn't want to be the one to tell you that because she doesn't want anyone to think that she doesn't have a grip on what she's got going on, I'm going to tell you for her.
That pride thing, comes before the fall, right? And a lot of women have it. And they're on the cusp of falling right now.
Check on that girl.
Listen, she just spoke the truth right there. There's this narrative that a lot of people like to paint of, oh yeah, single moms, it doesn't matter. Fathers, they don't matter. They can do it all by themselves. But she's telling you as a single mom that, listen, the single women you see who have children and don't have a father or a man to help support are struggling. I'm not somebody who believes that once you're a single mother, you can't find a man out here who will find value in you. And you can't learn to embrace your femininity and nurturing attributes. Even though most men who are childless won't want to settle down or marry a single mother, there are plenty of men out here who, if they find a woman who gives an exchange of value that they find beneficial, they will settle down with that person. This is the truth. It happens all the time, regardless of what you may believe or think or the values you may hold. There are chicks out here, yes, single mothers, who eventually start to embrace and focus on, like she said, leaning into her feminine energy. It's happening. And they get a lot of shit from the other women who want them to pretend like everything's okay, right? Who want them to pretend like, oh, you're just weak. You can't do it both. I can do it both. I don't need a man.
Yeah, it's sad that, again, women degrade each other way more often and harshly than men do. When women look at each other and it's like, oh, I'm doing fine. I'm struggling with single motherhood. Oh, well, I'm doing fine. What's wrong with you? Why would you ever say that with each other? Because you guys have different circumstances. One's baby daddy might be helpful. One baby daddy might not be helpful. One might be a terrible person where it makes her life miserable. One, he's just not there, which is a lot easier than someone that's causing you constantly trouble. It's sad how they badger each other to such a degree.
It's not true.
Hey y'all, I was in a live and it kind of prompted me to make this video about the discussion. And it was basically, why do women celebrate being baby mamas and not really push to become wives? And, as a baby mama, as they would call it myself, what I had to learn is we have to take accountability. Yes, these men can let us down once we feel like we're in love. Yes, they can tell us that they're going to do X, Y, and Z and they're going to be there. And we want to believe that because these are the people we're giving ourselves to at the end of the day.
Yep.
But we don't really know. And we do not have a certainty. Nothing is certain. But I know what is certain: my ovulation dates, my ovulation cycle. We have to stop being reactive to emotion and start thinking logically. You hold the key as a woman to when you are going to have a child.
Pretty much.
And this is something I had to learn. I couldn't say, oh, well, he told me he loved me and I believed him and we wanted a family. I had to start thinking like, okay, is this man marriage material? Is this someone I can see myself sharing a life?
That's the part where I think, yeah, they get fooled by the sweet talk, the game, as we say. They get fooled by it so quick and easy because it's everything they want to hear. But when they actually peel back the layers of the person saying it, they already know this person really cannot promise those things. But they like them enough and they hear the promise, they're going to accept it anyways.
Life with, because me just constantly meeting a man or just being with a man and making babies over and over again and thinking that, you know, things are going to be great and this and that, and we have no structure, is me setting myself up for disappointment.
My girl.
Again, shout out to this chick, because what do we usually see when we see the older women? They double down. They don't admit that, hey, I wish I'd have done things differently, and you women need to get things together. And you younger women shouldn't make the same mistakes, and you should get it together. So
that's why I'm here, guys. I made the mistake. I got married young. I was very blue-pilled. I lived that happy wife, happy life mantra. And look where I ended up. Divorced. Had to start over. You know, like, was it a good thing overall? I kind of say it was, because I'm a lot more successful. I look better now. I'm in great shape. But mistakes were made. And I want to relay those mistakes to you guys. You can make the same ones, but you'll probably be just as miserable as I was when I was going through everything. That's all.
What if the majority of women still choose not to listen? The majority never does what's right. The majority never wants to do the hard thing.
Of course.
The majority of people never want to change. It's just what it is. The majority of people always do the popular thing.
You know, that 20-80 rule is a very solid rule for a reason. It literally translates to anything and everything when it comes to humans. There's always going to be the top 20% that pretty much do 80% of the work for everyone. And that 80% of people, they're just slaving by doing the 20% of work.
Not everybody's going to drink coffee, but for the few who stumble in a video like this, especially from a woman who's been through it and gone through it, it matters.
Not only is that man disappointing me, but I'm going to have to live with that decision or raising that child if he's not present in a healthy way. So I had to learn myself to take accountability and set the tone. Step it up, ladies. Don't just go for anything that's out here. Don't just, oh, he loves me, I love him. A lot of us come from broken homes and we just jump at the first sight of someone wanting to be with us, or the idea of bringing a kid and the baby can love me unconditionally and I can love it unconditionally. But we are setting ourselves up in this society for a bit of struggle. Yes, you can do it. I've done it, but it meant working, and co-parenting, learning how to co-parent once the relationship is over, which is not always easy. So let's take accountability and learn our ovulation cycles, which a lot of people in that live were surprised to hear me say that and take accountability. And they said,
you know, there's women that I've spoken to that don't understand this ovulation cycle thing. And I'm just like, are you not women? I thought this was like a thing you guys spoke about amongst each other. Like, you guys have apps to track these things. How do you not know?
I made a great point. Even one young lady was like, you need to advocate for this. And I will, you know what I mean? Because I too had to learn. So what I want us to do as women is stop placing the blame on where it takes two to lay down. But we know ultimately, if we're not set up properly and with the right structure, it could be our detriment. It could be very detrimental to us. So let's just focus on setting the tone, stepping it up, raising our standards, raising our morals, and not settling for less. Period.
This next video is titled Single Parenthood is a Scam.
Okay, can I explain something? This is really, I'm going to be aggressive because nobody wants to hear this, because what you want me to say today is actually being a single mother is totally possible. It actually isn't. You know that? It was never meant to happen for the human race, number one. Number two, single biggest determiner of whether a mother is a good mother, what do you think it is? Whether they have a supportive partner. So the major argument for good dads is actually, can the dad be there for the mom? What you see is that if you've got a father figure, basically, who's supportive to the mother's energy goes towards the children. Correct. But the second that she doesn't have that supportive energy, she collapses, and then the kids get starved. So and we're not actually supposed to be living in a single family household, so it's supposed to be a lot more support towards mom than just dad. But I'm going with standard societal structure. You are a victim of a society that was never meant to work this way. You are not meant to, and no children are meant to actually grow up in a single family home, much less a broken home.
Correct.
Very well put. And you might be wondering, well, Chisha, why do you care?
I care.
Well, because at the core of this discussion, and women who disagree with this, what they are saying is that fathers are replaceable in homes, in families. If you don't believe me, check out some of these comments. In response to the last video we just watched, this woman says, yet here we are raising mentally and emotionally stable, beautiful human beings, not because we wanted to alone, but because we had to. The data says otherwise.
Nope.
Lizzie doesn't say
stable
that.
My ass.
Somebody else here added, most wives are still single mothers. So even if you are present, they will find a way to make sure that they make you irrelevant to the growth of that child. Here's another person who says, single mom for 15 years, and my son is an amazing human being. So see, the single chicks hear that video and they watch videos like this, and all they think is like, but my kid's amazing. You don't get to determine that. Society will determine that. And sometimes those children will speak up.
That.
She goes on to say, he's an amazing human being and an amazing boyfriend to his girlfriend, all due to being raised by a loving mother who devoted everything she was and had to.
Until he gets fucking fucked over by that woman because you told him to put her on a pedestal, then he's gonna fucking hate you.
Be her primary. And I'm not saying single mothers shouldn't be there for their children. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying at the core of the people who listen to a message like this and think, no, I don't agree. What you're saying is that fathers aren't necessary. Somebody else here added facts. The traditional family never gets credit because it doesn't fit the narrative. And our final comment here says, I raised 3 amazing daughters completely single. No assistance from their dad or anyone, including financially. It's not only possible, but it's wonderful. There you go. There you go. You get to choose, though, how you want to live your life, and hopefully you decide to do what's best. Listen,
like they decide for themselves and their children how good their children actually are and how good their children will be. I'm almost positive a lot of your children are not going to end up in jail just because the statistics say so.
As always, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot.
It's wonderful that single mothers themselves are pushing back against this baby mama culture and the single mother culture. They see the struggles that they've gone through, and they know that other women, other mothers are going through the same struggles, but yet the portrayal on the internet is lies. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Catch you guys next time. Ciao.